Welcome to Invisible Dimensions, where we share our mystical, paranormal, and supernatural encounters. I will not wade into the age old interdenominational debate about the existence of purgatory, but I will narrate my observations over the years. Angie and I met in campus. She was in second year when I joined. We were roommates, that's how we became close. But she was outgoing, vivacious, fun loving, and approachable. I was more of a loner, reserved, shy, and very picky on whom I befriended. My circle of close friends has always remained very small to date. I chuckle at just how many times Angie, being the outgoing one, was blamed for things I did. There are so many silly things I did that Angie took the fall for countless times. Even when we graduated university, we continued being close, albeit working in different cities. I settling down in marriage and starting a family, while she remained single. Angie continued being there for me big time. Even when I lost my husband so young into our marriage, hers was the shoulder I cried on. I was inconsolable, therefore, when she suddenly lost her life to kidney failure. I was so heartbroken. It was devastatingly painful. I couldn't help but remember the uncountable times that girl came through for me. She was the one person I was always secure with and felt easy being around. She knew all my secrets, weaknesses, faults, and strength. But this story is not about our relationship when she was alive, it is about our relationship after she died. I can never forget this dream. I remember it so vividly. It was just a few months after we had buried Angie, about 2 or 3 months. I'm not certain. I remember walking sedately in a marketplace that was so full of people. It must have been on a market day. Suddenly, there appeared a man chasing me. I could feel, or rather, I just knew, the man had been hired by someone I knew to kill me. Startled, I pushed through the throng of people, putting as much distance as possible between me and the hitman. For some reason, however, he caught up with me so easily. Just as he was about to catch me, I started screaming at the top of my voice, asking for help. He wants to kill me. Please, somebody help. This man wants to kill me. I screamed loudly, bewildered, gesticulating wildly, pointing at him. Calming the crowd, the man said belligerently, "Don't mind her, don't mind her. This is my younger sister. She has a mental problem. She escaped from the hospital. I just want to take her back." I don't know how or why the crowd that had gathered believed him. I don't know if it was because of how wildly I was screaming, but the people that had gathered around us allowed the man to drag me away. The man staggered slightly as he pulled me away, but his grip on me remained firm. Somehow, I managed to yank my hand free from his hold and slipped through the crowd. I ran as fast as I could, and soon I was at the outskirts of the market where there were no people, the man in hot pursuit. There wasn't much distance between us, and I knew that that man was going to kill me for sure, especially now that we were at a place that looked deserted. I saw a nearly built, small, mud-wood hut with an old, discolored wooden dome. Panting, I pushed open the door and fell into the room. It was a small, cold, single room. The mud on the wall was still very fresh. The floor was damp as well and earthen. Behind the door, placed against the wall, was a small wrought iron bed with a raggedy look. Besides the bed, the room was bare, with nothing else, not even a window. The bed had no mattress, just rough, old, dirty, discolored rags as beddings. On the bed lay my friend Angie, alone. She didn't seem shocked to see me. She was lying on her side, facing the entrance, resting her raised head on the palm of her hand, halfly covered with a worn out, scraggy old blanket that wasn't able to cover her whole body. It seemed like she had been there for some time and would continue to be, but she had somehow resigned to her fate. As she saw me fall into the room, there was a blank look on her face. She showed no emotion, not even an acknowledgement. She continued to look at me indifferently. As I stared at her, aghast, I knew she was dead and buried. So what was she doing here? Even as I wondered, it looked as though I was the one intruding on her space. Recovering from the shock of bumping into the Angie I knew was dead and buried, I remembered that there was a hitman hot after my heels. Angie, I blurted out desperately, a tremor in my voice, preferring the devil I knew. There's someone right behind me who wants to kill me. Jump into bed behind me, she said placidly. What? I asked, confused. The bed was very tiny, just enough for her. Besides, the dirty bedding scared me. Lie behind me, she motioned listlessly. I could see that I had no options. I hurriedly squeezed myself between her and the wall. Cover yourself with the blanket, she ordered dryly. The blanket was barely enough for her. How could it even cover the both of us? I obeyed anyway. The blanket hardly covered my waist, and my whole upper torso was exposed. I was still adjusting myself, trying to make myself comfortable, when the door flung open and the hitman entered the room. I froze with terror. I knew there was no escape. I want the woman who just came in before me, the man said, his eyes looking around fastidiously. Seeing nothing, his eyes finally rested on the two of us on the bed. I lay there, stealthily quiet, horror stricken, my heart pounding. I nearly called out in surrender, deciding to beg for my life, when I heard Angie say, "What woman?" She answered casually. "I have seen no one." Just a few minutes before I came in, there was a woman in a black dress who entered this room. The man expounded assiduously, his eyes searching everywhere. "As you can see, I am all alone," Angie said insolently, as my heart quietened, realizing that somehow I was invisible. "I saw the woman enter this very room with my own eyes," the man resolutely persisted. "You can stay if you want. Be my guest." "But I haven't seen anyone," Angie responded nonchalantly. The man, dissatisfied, finally left the room. I lay there for some time, unable to speak, trying to make sense of what had just happened. Angie didn't speak either. "Angie," I called wearily after a long time, "please take me home." "Sure," she said enthusiastically. The man must have gone by now. Out in the sunlight, Angie was more chatty and lively. We felt warm in each other's company. She walked me back through the market. We crossed a busy road together, but unfortunately, my home was on the other side of a river, and there was no bridge. I am so much afraid of water bodies, even in real life. Somehow, Angie helped me to cross the river without incident. As soon as we crossed the river, I felt safe. I was sure I could get home without harm. Home wasn't far. I felt safe. Angie seemed reluctant to come home with me. "Angie," I pleaded, "please come home with me. I need you to come explain to my mother in person that you saved my life today from a hitman. If I tell her myself, she will dismiss me that you are dead. If she sees you in person, she will believe." "I'm sorry," Angie said sadly. "This is the farthest I can go." We hugged warmly as we parted ways, promising to stay in touch. "Mom," I blurted as soon as I got home, "I've just been with Angie. She saved me from a man who wanted to kill me." My mom looked at me as though I was insane. I could say she didn't believe me. I also knew how ludicrous I sounded. We had been together during Angie's funeral. In fact, we'd sat together by the grave long after she had been buried. I then woke up. It has been many years, but this dream has forever remained fresh in my mind. I can never forget how Angie saved my life that day. After about 2 years, I met Angie again in a dream. This time round, her living conditions had much improved. The house was big, though I didn't get in. She had wanted to introduce me to her friends. There was a good number of them, about 5 or 6. I didn't count. All young ladies. They were out in the garden, planting flowers, playfully laughing at each other's jokes. The mood was airy, jovial, light. I had fun with them, and of course, later woke up. Time flew by. About a year ago, Angie came to my house. I was in the bedroom when my child came to tell me there was someone at the door. I went to find Angie standing there, looking girlishly beautiful, more beautiful than I had ever seen her in this life. She looked much younger than she had been when she died. Her skin was healthy, glowing. We hugged warmly as I let her into the house. I introduced her to my kids, one of whom she had never met. My youngest. My two younger siblings were also around. All of us sat in the living room, laughing, reminiscing of the past. After we had been chatting for a while, I remembered that Angie had died some years past. Angie, I called, cutting short our laughter. You are aware you are not supposed to be here, aren't you? Yeah, sure, Angie replied happily. I just came to say goodbye. I'm finally going home. I looked at her perplexed. I didn't understand what she meant when she said she was finally going home. I also wanted to give you this, she said excitedly, pressing some soft thing into my palm and closing my fingers firmly around it. It's yours. Keep it safely. You didn't have to bring me anything, I said, protesting weakly, but amazed at the same time. Thank you so very much. Angie hugged all of us goodbye affectionately and left. I woke up immediately, sitting up in bed, opening my still closed palm to see what was there. I saw nothing. In the morning, I went to the living room and turned it upside down, looking for what Angie had pressed in my hand in the dream. I found nothing. Of course, I was just glad she had come anyway. I keep mulling over these three dreams, wondering just what they mean, especially their settings, from the dirty, cold, mud-walled heart that Angie had initially inhabited immediately after death to when she recently, about a year ago, when she came to bid me goodbye and leave me a gift. Have you yourselves had any mystical encounters? Please share with us through the comments. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share to help our channel grow. Bye.